Welcome to the Tomb of Illumination. I haven't done a video for a while. I've been busy putting a kitchen in. But I've just had a comment from Tara Woods on a video, so I thought I'd answer it now. Otherwise I'll never get round to it. So I could put on a clean shirt, and here I am. So here's her question, or statement. Is the moon its own entity, or is it a reflection of the sun? And also, is the moon a reflection of the earth, because the Bible calls it the faithful witness, and it looks like the land masses are showing on the moon. Can you please explain the sun and the moon more, please? Are they the same entity? Well, you know, there's this site that's showing us that the earth map is on the moon, and in a video of mine I've hinted that that could be possible because Earth is from the black hole center. So it will create an image, and that image, this is all mind-boggling stuff for the common man who's totally brain dead, but you people who are following me will understand. Earth is from the hole, so that's why it's fixed and stationary, because the center of the hole is fixed and stationary. All the actions around the perimeter. So Earth's image comes out of there. Nothing is actually physical in our realm. Nothing. You've got to realize that. It's all due to sound, resonating frequencies. So the image is there on the plane, the black hole plane. Okay? And what are we saying here? So the image, you'll have the image of Earth can reflect out onto the moon. You'd say the black hole's like an amplifier, so it's a vortex, and the black hole's down the center. It's like the gurgler when you're vortexing water, right? That's the black hole. There's nothing in the center. It's the core. That's why they use the word core on Corinth a lot in the ancient Egyptian scripture text. So you got the plane at the top, the ecliptic plane at the top. That's where the planets are. And the sun just sits off center of the black hole center on its horizon, and the sun turns around that black hole center, just like Polaris turns around the North Star center. They don't realize that Polaris is the sun. If you look down there, it's a star. That way, it's just bright light, the sun. So what have we got here? Is the moon its own entity? So it is its own entity. It's like down here in the dual physical world. We have the male and the female. This is what it's showing us. The moon is the female, the sun is the male. But there comes a point where it comes back to singularity. And that's what we have to do. Reach singularity. But at the same time, you've got to realize the base is singularity, reflected out, projected out to create the dual realm we're in. So you can see the sun, the moon, as a projection of the sun. So you could say it's the shadow of the sun. Okay? But they come back to make one. This is coming into the bridegroom's chamber every new moon. And at new moon solar eclipse is when they get it on. This is spiritual rebirth, what the whole Bible's all about. What have we got here? And the sun is also the moon. Is the moon its own entity, or is it a reflection of the sun? Yes, it's a reflection of the sun. But at the same time, it is its own entity. And also, is the moon a reflection of the earth, projecting the earth's image onto the moon? Possibly. I would sort of sway more than 50% onto that one. Because the Bible calls it the faithful witness. No, but the moon is connected with the witness. See, the born again is the witness, and it's like raising a kundalini or raising your chakras. You can't get to the seventh if you don't have the full moon involved. The full moon in your conception sign. When you were conceived. Not conceived. Conceived, yes. Conceived. Not the sun sign. The sun sign, well, in the religious story, the beginning is always Aries, so the sun is in Aries. But the Jesus story, the sun's in Aries, but the moon is in Pisces. So to reach your enlightenment, the 7th chakra, that's the highest elevation, you have to have the 7th added by the moon. The moon adds to 1/7. That's allowing you to reach singularity. So it's the moon sign that was in the position at your conception. Excuse me. So the man is the actual witness, not the moon. Can you please explain more about the moon and the sun? Okay, so what we have to realise is over the month, the moon is doing this spiralling out across all the planets, the ecliptic planes. Imagine that's the ecliptic plane. You've got all the planets all scattered around here, you know. They're all just doing circles. They don't do ellipses, egg shapes, no. Science has you fooled, because the black hole is circular, but the sun is on its horizon like this. So overall it looks like, you know, they're trying to tell you the planets go around on this oval like this. No, they do not. It might seem that way, but no, nothing passes the sun. Black hole, the sun moves around the black hole. Okay? It's forever moving. Watch Polaris, it's always moving like this. It's the quickest because the track out here is a lot wider. It's obviously going to be quicker than anything out here when the energy is dispersed, spread out like that from the centre. Up in the centre. How's this planet going to pass the sun if the sun's on the inside track? Pure nonsense. They just don't think. So you've got the ecliptic plane. So the moon spirals all the way out to full moon. 14 days out, then 14 days back in to new moon. Where it's right there in the face of the sun. So that means new moon. The sun would be facing this way of the new moon. You can't see the moon. It's dissolved in the light of the sun. But if you've got a full moon, the sun will be there, the moon is there. The sun will be shining this way. 180 opposed. It's a polarity. Polarities. Now, so it's spiralling out over the month on the ecliptic plane at the top of the vortex. There's the central vortex above the Arctic. But down in the vortex itself, you've got an S-curve. The planets follow over one day, which is the Fibonacci, well, over one night, half a day is the Fibonacci or the golden ratio, or half a cardioid, or a base clef. I'm going to get into that in a minute. But the full day is a 12-hour or 24-hour day. You do a cardioid, a full cardioid. It comes back to that centre. So every man on earth in the southern hemisphere has one of these on his meridian. He'll be back here because there's north. So that's there's the tropical gap. Celestial tropical gap. That'll be his south. He always has one of those. No matter where he is around the southern hemisphere. He has that's his cycle. Up the north, in the north they have their cycle. That's the northern hemisphere star rotation, which all comes out of the centre here. So the southern field has one here because they're mirrored, see? So whenever that spins around, that's mirrored out here. That spins around, it's mirrored out there, just like that. So I couldn't think of the silly name of this thing here. So I type in, I don't have a very good memory, you see. I type in what's the S thingy thing? What have I got here? Thing called. So yeah. What is the S? Well, anyway. So this is what popped up. What is S music note symbol? The definition for sideways S music symbol, which isn't this, but there's a symbol they call the S, sideways S, and it goes like this. Above a musical note in music. And just listen to how they write this. So whoever came up with this, the music notes and everything involved with music, obviously knew the whole creation story, because it's all connected. Our whole realm is based on music, sound. What you can see this quite easily when you start playing some music and the animals start coming towards you. They all love music. Young or children, babies, they all love music. So this is what popped up. The S music note as a search for S above music note. Blah 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 blah. The symbol is a directive for musicians to perform a sequence of notes around a primary note. So you think about this, primary note, the black hole, that's the amplifier and the primary notes. You could say it's the sun, it's on its horizon, because everything moves around the sun, well, around the vortex, not around the sun, but around the vortex. When encountering the symbol, musicians typically play the note above or below the marked primary note, then return to the primary note itself. You could, same analogy with the moon. The moon wanders out and comes back again to the sun each month. The execution of this sequence, known as a turn, everything's turning up here, adds complexity and ornamental value to the music, enhancing its overall expressiveness. So there's the S. Don't forget you've got the S curve in here, the old Superman S curve in the vortex. The stars will do this over a night, spoil and then come back in again. They basically do a cardioid over 24 hours. So what does a sideways S symbol represent in music? At first glance, the sideways S may seem like an indecipherable scribble. However, to those in the know, this symbol conveys a specific directive to perform a rapid sequence of notes surrounding a central main note. It's a compact notation that signals the musician to briefly depart from the main melody in favour of a delicate and decorative musical detour. Decoding the S music note. Question. Turn the gruppetto briefly explained. Turn, and gruppetto. A turn creates an ornate swirl in the music involving a total of 4. Let's get down to what I was reading before. What is the sideways S music symbol? At its core, the sideways S symbol in sheet music represents a musical device known as a turn or gruppetto. It appears in the score as a serpentine or a serpentine marking. What have I said along in my videos? The serpentine in the religious text always represents the magnetic field. This whole thing is the magnetism, magnetic field. The serpent represents the magnetic field. There, the sun's analemma. This could look like the sun's analemma if it's drawn a bit more accurately. It's the small centre north, the bigger southern hemisphere. Okay? Sun analemma, that's the serpentine, the serpent. Oh, shrunk away here. score. And remember the word score basically comes from core. The core. Right, the centre. As a serpentine marking, typically placed directly above a note head. Ooh, it's up above note. Or between two notes on the staff. Yeah, well, you've got the staff on the religious story, haven't you? Which is up to the centre. This is the tropical gap. You can call that the staff if you want, but there's the cross. It's the rising of the Kundalini, you could say. Anyway, it gets up here and there's a pairing. Where the hydrogen molecules come up shredded, turns into an isotope, and there's a pairing. Then it gets fed over to feed the plasma sun. Read up about plasma, same thing. So even though the male and the female are separated, the moon and the sun, at the same time you have to realise that the moon represents the magnetic field, and the sun is what's created up through this gap here, the plasma. So without the magnetic field of the earth, the moon involved, without the magnetic field of the earth, it cannot create the sun, because the sun is created from pure magnetism. That's the north and the south pole, the build-up. Okay, on both sides, there's the magnetic induction in here. That's where the sun's created. Well, the energy fed into the actual sun, which is back here in the centre of creation. Then it projects its image out into this area here where we see it, or perceive, we think we're seeing it there, okay? Because this area here is representing that centre in here. That's our physical realm aspect of creation. So the Milky Way comes all the way up and over into here, and there's the other end of the Milky Way comes up into here. We see this Milky Way at night when the sun's not shining on it. When the sun's shining this way, we see this whole side, don't we? The male and the female ends, because one's male end, one's female end. But it's all connected with music, so if you want to check that side out, I could drop a link. If I remember, I never do. But it's just funny. All this music is all connected with creation. Okay, there you go. Thanks, guys. Put a likes up if you like this sort of stuff. You'd have to show it because my site's not going anywhere. Thanks.